everyone. Hope you're having a fabulous day. I want to ask you a question. What is it that you see when you look in the mirror? Obviously, I know you're going to say, well, you see yourself, you see a reflection of yourself. What I'm asking is what do you really see when you look in the mirror? Are you impressed with what you see? Are you confident that that person that's looking back at you can accomplish everything that you have set out or what you want or set goals for yourself to accomplish? What I want to talk about over the next few minutes is what I would call self-image or self-esteem. And really what it boils down to is, how do you see yourself? How do you feel about yourself? Because ultimately we all know that what is on the inside ultimately affects our behavior and how we act on the outside, how we respond to life, how we see the things, how we perceive the world, and all the perspective that comes into that is all based on what's going on the inside. You know, I was reminded of a book by Maxwell Maltz called Psycho-Cybernetics. And it's a really good book if you have a chance to read it, and I know I've made reference of it before. But he talked about a young girl that actually had come in, make some altercations to her body, her face, whatever the case may be, because she didn't like the way she appeared. So she wanted to change her nose, her jaw structure, or whatever she was wanting to be done. And so that surgery happened, she got healed up, and when she looked in the mirror, she did not see a difference. And the reason being is because Maxwell Maltz cannot, or could not at that time, and this was the ultimate revelation, is that no matter how much he changed the outside, he could not change the image of what this young lady had held on the inside. What I want to pose to you today is, what do you see, or how do you see yourself? Take a few minutes and really gauge. Are you confident in your abilities? Are you confident in what you can accomplish? Do you really believe in yourself? Do you think you have what it takes? Are you doing the little disciplines every day to become a better person or a better version of yourself? But at the end of the day, how do you see yourself? What is the image that you hold on the inside of your mind about yourself? I wanted to just take a few minutes and maybe talk about some things that you can begin to implement every day to begin to change the self-image. Now, the first question we have to ask is, where did our self-image come from? Where did we pick up this ideology of who we are? And obviously that's happened over time. It's happened when you were born. You had parents, and you had teachers, and you had siblings, and you had people in your lives that spoke into your lives that would either encourage you or tear you down, would give you ideologies of yourself that maybe weren't true or maybe slightly distorted. And you believed those things, and you begin to create this image of how you see yourself. You know, there's several people out in the world that see themselves as dynamic. And again, are these people perfect? Do they not have bad days? I mean, self-esteem is something obviously that you have to work on a daily basis. Sometimes you just don't feel like really liking yourself in any given moment. It's something that's really moment to moment. These people don't stay in a depressed state, or they don't stay in this state of seeing themselves as a failure, and then therefore their mind and body and their lives formulate the results of failure. So how do you see yourself? Let's first talk about a couple things that Maxwell talked about in his book. One of them being the mirror of the mind. So, you know, when you do look in the mirror, make it an exercise. When you look in the mirror, can you really fall in love with the person that you're looking back at, right? If there's some things about your life that you don't like, then make those changes, because no one else can. No one else is going to be able to make those changes. So if you don't like maybe something about the way you react to folks, you know, I know multiple times in my life where there's been something that's happened and I had to stop in my tracks and go, you know, is that really the way I want to be portrayed? Is that the way I want to react to this particular situation? Guys, this is something that we work on a daily basis. We haven't arrived. This life that we're living is a journey, not necessarily a destination. We're growing every day. And so take an assessment. If there's some things you don't like, then make those changes. Sometimes going into the beginning of a new year in 2024 coming up in a handful of weeks, and people are gonna start making New Year's resolutions. They're gonna look in the mirror and say, I don't like the way I look. I wanna get on a diet, or I wanna go work out. Well, guys, that's your decision. That's something that you can make a change with, and you can begin to start making those small disciplines in your life and make those changes so that you can see differences when you look in the mirror. But again, how do you hold yourself in your mind's eye? The mirror of the mind is a great tool that what do you see in that mirror? And then create that mirror of the mind. How do you see yourself? Go through that exercise throughout the day, understanding this is how I see myself. Maybe you're not quite there yet. Maybe you're seeing yourself right now as you are, but how do you see yourself becoming? What is the things you'd like to see in your life change? The second thing is your imagination, visualization. These are all very powerful tools. I'm reminded of Jack Nicklaus, the great golfer, and how he would talk about how he would go through his mind and he would visualize shots, and he would visualize him swinging the club, and he would visualize putting the ball on the green and putting it in the cup. He would see all of these things in his mind's eye before he would ever see the results, and he built this muscle in his mind of how he would visualize, how he would imagine. I want you to do that. This is an exercise you can do for yourself, for self-esteem. See yourself as the way you want to be. Play with that imagination. If you want to have a successful business, imagine yourself having that successful business. Imagine that storefront. Imagine all the customers. Imagine the Christmas parties that you have and all the employees. Build out in your imagination how you see this happening. Guys, there's so many stories of successful people that have done this methodology and ultimately eventually saw the results. They saw it come to fruition. They saw it come and manifest itself once they played with this. But it's something you've got to do over and over and over and over again. You've got to practice, and you've got to strengthen that muscle of imagination and visualization. The next thing is obviously affirmations and positivity, right? Understanding that you can speak over your life death, or you can speak over your life. What is your self-talk? What are the things that you're saying to yourself? Change the narrative. Change the things that you're saying about you, about your business, about your relationships. Change that. Stop gossiping. Stop tearing down people and start talking, lifting yourself up, lifting up others, encouraging yourself, believing in yourself, coming up with those affirmations that you say on a daily basis, because trust me, if you believe it long enough, it will become true in your life. Last but not least, you got to take action. That's what builds confidence. When you take small actions each day, it builds confidence towards your self-esteem, towards your self-image. You start seeing the results one step at a time. Guys, you don't have to conquer Rome in a day. Rome wasn't built in a day. It's one brick at a time, one block at a time, one street at a time. And that's how you build that strong self-image, is one piece at a time, beginning to implement some of these things. So I hope it's been helpful to you. Self-esteem, self-image is so vitally important. How do you see yourself? Do you see yourself as strong? Do you see yourself as a warrior? Do you see yourself as a champion? Do you see yourself as being top of your class? Do you see yourself being the best business owner in the world? Because guess what? All the noise out there, yes, there's tons of competition and all that, but at the end of the day, you are competing with ourselves. We're trying to wake up every day to be a better version of ourselves today than we were yesterday, but we have to begin to implement and take action towards those things. So anyhow, hope that's been helpful. Until next time, bye for now.